Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome you all to a new League of Legends video. So as of this patch, Elise has been extremely popular in solo queue and just League of Legends in general thanks to the buffs. But her true strength does lie in the jungle role, and you don't really see anyone ever play her in the mid lane. So can we take the strength from the jungle and transfer it into the mid lane? Honestly, I think it's actually quite strong, but in this video I'll be going much more in depth, trying to give you guys the knowledge that you need in order to play Elise effectively in the mid lane. So as usual, if you find this video informative or helpful or whatever, please definitely hit the like button. It helps me quite a lot, but let's get right into it. So as usual, the first thing we'll be talking about are the positives of full AP Elise mid. So the main thing I found out about Elise mid is the fact that she's actually quite strong against melee champions and or assassins. And I know there's a lot of people that simply hate facing assassins in the mid lane, so like a Talon, a Diana, a Zed, a Yasuo. Well, here's a pretty good answer to those picks. It's really good because she has a lot of poke potential with her Q in human form and the insane damage of the Q in spider form. And overall, she's just an extremely strong duelist thanks to especially the spiders that she has while she's in spider form, because they do an insane amount of damage. Now that their damage this patch has been converted to magic damage. But another huge factor as to why Elise is so strong right now is the fact that her cocoon at level 1 has been increased in duration, which of course definitely helps you set up your full burst combo on the target, and naturally it just eliminates that target from the fight that much longer. Another thing I really enjoyed about Elise mid is that if you are a little bit low in HP, you can simply go into spider form and just start auto attacking the minions with your W as well for the extra attack speed, and every single auto attack you're going to be getting a bit of HP back, so it gives you some good sustain. Both of her Q abilities, like I said, are extremely solid when it comes to poking and harassing, but they also do percentage damage, with the human form doing more damage based on how healthy the target is, and the spider form Q doing more damage based on how weak the target is in HP. And if you combine, of course, both of those aspects and the rest of her abilities, she has an absolute insane burst combo that, quite honestly, as long as you're not extremely behind, if you get it on a squishy target, they will most likely die without question. Kind of what you're about to see on this Victor right here. She can escape and chase people quite easily with her E ability while also dodging abilities. The spider she summons in human form with the W ability is also very strong because it simply follows the target to no end. But the main thing that I really liked is the fact that when she's in spider form, those little spiders that you summon will do an absurdly disgusting amount of damage, so never forget that, because your dueling power with those spiders is insanely high. However, the negatives of playing Elise in the mid lane is the first and foremost, her auto attack in human form is very bad, so CSing could be a problem. And it'll definitely take some time to get used to it, so I do recommend CSing in spider form whenever possible. A very mediocre wave clear at best, since your W in human form is really the only AoE type ability that you have. And with that being said, her W poke is also quite strong, but it's not really the best poke in the game, like for instance compared to a Xerath, a Vel'Koz, a Ziggs, a Lux. And from what I've discovered, she's not very strong against champions in the mid lane that are extremely long range or just annoying to deal with. So for instance, a Xerath, a Vel'Koz, or especially Morgana, because you'll never kill her. So with that being said, she is somewhat of a situational pick, while also not being the easiest champion to pick up and play in the mid lane, so it will take some practice. However, once you understand how she works, it is quite effective. But let's next discuss the items you should be building on this full AP Elise mid lane. So the idea behind playing Elise in the mid lane is trying to build her a full assassin type build. But you definitely want to start off with the flask and potions just for the extra sustain, especially for the mana. Following that, I try to rush the haunting guys as soon as possible, and I usually don't upgrade it into the Liandry's Torment. Following that, you want to get the Sork Boots ASAP for the extra magic pen, because you want to try doing as much damage as possible, so getting flat magic pen items early into the game is extremely strong. Which is why Abyssal Scepter as the next item is extremely strong here, because it lets you further penetrate through your target's magic resistance, pretty much dealing true damage to them until they get at least one MR item. However, the reason I have the Luden's Echo kind of on top of the Abyssal Scepter is because if the champion you're facing mid lane is an AD champion, so let's say Zed or Talon, and they don't have an AP top laner and or jungle, the Abyssal Scepter MR you're getting is not very effective, so I do recommend passing it up and going for the Ludens instead. But regardless, you definitely want the Rabadons to further complement your burst kit, and the Zhonya's because it gives you even more time of invulnerability. Of course, Zhonya's and your E ability in spider form. Following that, if the enemy team has a lot of magic resistance, the Void Staff is no question a great pickup. Another option that's great as well is going to be the Lich Bane to make your burst that much higher. After you use your Q in spider form, you're going to probably auto attack attack them at least once where you can proc the Lich Bane. Or if you want to go for a bit of sustained damage as well as burst, the Gnasher's Tooth is a great pickup too. But moving into the runes that I use, this is the page I almost always play when I play Elise mid. It has flat magic pen reds, HP per level yellows, or you can swap them out for armor if you're against an AD mid laner. CDR per level blues are very important because it also reflects on the items you're building on the champion, aka skipping the Morellonomicon or the Athenes. And then top it off with some flat AP quints. For the masteries, there are two potential pages, the first of which being 2190. This is the page I run if I feel like I'll be dueling quite a lot and it's going to be a very aggressive lane, because the extra HP and the damage reduction from champions helps quite a bit. But if I feel like the laning phase is going to be a little more passive, then I go for the 2109. So here are some general tips playing Elise in the mid lane, the first of which being that I honestly think that she's not easy to play and it took me a few games to understand how it should be played. One thing I found out is that her all-in at level 1 in the lane is not that bad since you do have two abilities, both of which are percent damage and do more damage based on whether how healthy or low HP the target is. You also want to definitely max your Q first, followed by your W, followed by your E, and also be very careful when spamming your Q in human form because it has a huge mana cost being 80 at level 1, so be very careful with that, which is also why you start with the flask. Don't forget to use the spider form for the free HP sustain and to harass them with the Q in spider form since the spider form does have 0 mana cost on all the abilities. If possible, save the repel in your spider form, the E ability, to dodge spells and or escape, and only go when to go for the kill if you're 100% sure you can get the kill. I recommend last hitting in spider form, and the full burst combo is to use your cocoon followed by your W and your Q in human form, switch to spider form, and then pop the W and the Q. The final rating I'll be giving her is a solid 7 out of 10 because I truly think she's just a very strong champion right now in the meta, and luckily it translates to mid lane quite well. She has easily one of the highest full burst combos in the game, a pretty good kit with a lot of abilities and great escapes, and could be extremely annoying to kill and very mobile. However, she has a horrible auto attack animation in human form, a very situational pick for mid lane. Like I said, against some champions she's really bad, and really not the best wave clear. But that is it for this new meta full AP Elise video, guys. If you did enjoy it or found it informative or whatever the case, please definitely throw in a like, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, check out my other videos as well, I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.